watching Homegrown. Today we've got a special episode for you. We're going to be building a raised bed garden. This is episode 1 of a 3-part mini-series that we're going to put together. And we're going to be discussing everything from site planning to the materials you're going to need, to the construction, all the way to the end result with, topsoil and a full drip irrigation system. So I want to encourage you guys to get out there and start growing. That's the main point of this YouTube channel and these videos is to really encourage some of you gardeners that maybe are just getting started. You don't have a lot of knowledge yet, so I'm hoping that you guys can learn something and take away something from this project here. So the first thing we want to talk about is planning. The most important thing, just like anything in life, planning is very important. First thing you want to take into consideration is maybe how large you want to build it, how much time you can devote to your garden. The next thing you want to maybe consider is the style of garden you're going to be building. Today I already said we're going to be building some raised bed gardens, but maybe you want to go be a little thrifty and just do it right in the dirt. There's nothing wrong with that. Literally you can just turn up some soil and throw some seeds in, water it, and you're going to start gardening. A few benefits with raised bed gardens is brings the garden up, so it's easier for working on, harvesting. It's easier to maintain, I find. It allows you to kind of control the soil a little bit easier. So instead of just using the regular topsoil that's in my lawn, I can actually bring soil in and really amend the soil and build up the soil with great things like compost and rock dust and other things like perlite and coconut coir and all those really good things. So you really have full control of your soil. Another benefit to raised beds is you get lots of heat in your beds. Your ground's going to warm up faster so that you can start gardening earlier in the season. It's a beautiful day here in southwestern Ontario. I'm really excited to get these raised beds put together, and probably in the next week or two we're going to be putting our plants in the ground after all threats of frost are gone. A couple other things you want to consider when you're planning to build your raised bed garden is the site location. I encourage you guys to put your garden somewhere where you're going to see it every day, where you're going to have to walk by it, because the more time you spend working on your garden, better results you're going to get. So without further ado, we're going to get into this thing and we're going to show you guys from start to finish how you guys can start growing. All right, so we're out here, we're talking about site location. We're right at the beginning of our project and we're planning on where we're going to actually put this on our property, or maybe it's on your balcony or your patio. A couple things to keep in mind. You want to put your garden somewhere where it's going to be in your sight all the time, somewhere that you can walk by, quickly check how things are doing, maybe pull out a few weeds here and there. And if you plant your garden or plan your garden and you have it close to your property, you're gonna have better results where you can walk by it and just kind of maintain it a little better. So I'm really close. I don't have a very big backyard, so I'm really close to my house regardless. So really anywhere on my property, I'm gonna see my garden every day. I'm gonna be able to just walk out here in my bare feet and harvest some lettuce or harvest some of my fruits and vegetables, and make a quick dinner out of them. I like to do a lot of entertaining in my backyard, so I kind of want to have my gardens off to one of the sides so that I can have a big area where I can have friends over, we can play games, or maybe I have some of my nieces come over and they can run around on the yard and they don't have to worry about tripping over garden beds. Maybe you're a little bit different, maybe you don't do as much entertaining, maybe you can fill your whole backyard with gardens. That'd be amazing. But for me personally, I've got kind of this side section on my property here where I'm planning on putting my garden. Another thing to keep in mind is actually the location of the sun. So you don't want to stick your gardens underneath a big tree or directly in a shaded area that's going to be shaded most of the day, especially when you have prime locations that are getting a lot of sun. I've got my gardens kind of planned out to go right here on the side of my property. It runs east to west, so it kind of runs along with the sun. So that's one thing to keep in mind. At the end of the day, it's not going to be life or death for your plants, but you're going to get better results if you kind of keep these things in mind. Okay guys, so that wraps up the planning stage of our raised bed gardens. We've talked about proximity of where your house is in terms of your raised bed, the relation to the sun and what you want to take in consideration of that. So we've talked about our planning, we're ready to get going and start building. So next we're going to show you some of the materials you're going to need to start building your raised bed garden and start growing.